debate a motion seeking to send home Governor Isaac Ruto. The motion to impeach the outspoken former Council of Governors chairman was moved by Kembu Ward MCA Julius Korir on grounds of corruption and gross misconduct. 15 other MCAs have already endorsed the motion. And on the same, we'll now be joined by our political reporter Murimi Mwangi, who joins us from the City Center studio to give us the dynamics of this impeachment motion against former Council of Governors chairman Isaac Ruto. Murimi Mwangi, what are some of the allegations, or what is this impeachment motion based on exactly?
Now, this impeachment motion for Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto is one that has been moved on allegations that the governor has been indulging in corruption. Remember, Bomet County was positioned at number 3 among the most corrupt counties by a survey that was released a few days ago by the EACC. And the mover of the motion today is among other corruption grounds basing the impeachment motion that is coming in the afternoon on the fact that the Bomet County is position 3 in matters corruption. But of course, 15 MCAs drawn from the URP party mostly have already endorsed that impeachment motion. Remember, this is not the first time that the issue of impeachment of Isaac Ruto has come up. Sometime last year, when he was still the chair to the Council of Governors, he raised concern that there was a conspiracy to have him impeached. Allegedly, at the time, he said that it was as a result of the infighting that was within the ruling coalition. You remember that Isaac Ruto has been a keen critic of the Jubilee administration, particularly on issues of allocation of more funds to the county, and has been spearheading the Okoa Kenya not the Okoa Kenya, but the Pesa Mashinani referendum push. And most likely, even after the debate of that motion to impeach him in the afternoon, key among the politics that we expect to emerge as with regards to the reaction from the Bomet governor and his political buddies is that this is yet another instance of the Jubilee coalition trying to fight him. But looking at the issues that are before the county assembly now, you remember sometime last year 14 residents of Bomet County petitioned the county government of Bomet on allegations that the governor was giving tenders to companies that have or are related to his close relatives, citing 2 companies, one from his brother and the other from the sister. And when the Bomet governor came before the Senate Finance Committee, his defense before the committee at the time was that he had no influence on the procurement process or the selection process for the companies that were given the tenders, and therefore he still insists that he is innocent of all the allegations that have been raised by the residents who petitioned him before the Senate. And now the member of County Assembly is now moving a motion to have him impeached. But of course, looking at the political implications of the impeachment of Isaac Ruto, remember, it's coming at a time when there's so much infighting in the Jubilee coalition, particularly in the South Rift. And Isaac Ruto has been seen as a key proponent of the alternative leadership to the South Rift. Of course, this coming after the Nyangore's civic by-election in Bomet, where Isaac Ruto led a spirited campaign that saw the Jubilee coalition lose that seat to a candidate who not many people knew about from the People's Patriotic Party. We saw him in Kericho, of course, campaigning alongside Kanu for the Kanu candidate, seeking to give an alternative candidate away from the Jubilee coalition. And therefore, this impeachment motion, of course, now puts more pressure on the Jubilee coalition, the larger Jubilee coalition, and in particular, leadership from the Rift region to, of course, come to terms with the infighting that is happening now and to put the Jubilee House in order ahead of the 2017 polls. Atisa.
Now, Murimi, even as you mentioned, that Isaac Ruto certainly is a man who has been fighting so many battles, starting off from his party. But this impeachment motion comes barely a fortnight after the Kericho by-election, where we saw Isaac Ruto campaign alongside the KANU candidate. Is the timing of this impeachment motion suspect, given that it's just 2 weeks after? And do you smell malice, or do we have an exterior hand into this issue at hand?
Now, Akisa, it's not the first time that Isaac Ruto is blaming the Jubilee coalition for his woes. You remember sometime last year, he sensationally claimed that members of the county assembly of Bomet had been invited to Nairobi. And at that time, you remember there was a contention on where the loyalty of the nominated MCAs from the URP party lied at the time. You remember Isaac Ruto was fighting for this Pesa Mashinani drive, and he alleged that there was a plot that had been hatched in the URP house of the Jubilee coalition to have the nominated MCAs who do not support his ouster have their nomination revoked. And therefore, and again, when you look at the figures or the statistics of the MCAs or the composition of the Bomet County Assembly, you notice that 25 elected MCAs, most of them from the URP party, 10 nominated, mostly again from the URP party, and therefore the politics of the infighting that we are seeing in the URP wing of the Jubilee coalition will most likely be one of the factors that is going to be cited by the Isaac Ruto camp. But of course, looking at the issues and why it's happening barely a few days after the Kericho by-election, remember the win of the Jubilee coalition, the fact that Aaron Cheriot of the Jubilee coalition won that seat. Many analysts have argued that it has reaffirmed the strong clinch of the rift politics on Deputy President William Ruto, and
thank you very much.
Isaac
that
Ruto
of course was our political reporter Murimi Mwangi joining us from the city center.